On the pole at a record lap of over 124 miles an hour, Tommy Kendall in the normally aspirated Chevrolet Intrepid. Next to him, young Davy Jones in the Jaguar XJR16, the only two-time winner this season. On row 2, Chip Robinson and his teammate Jeff Brabham in a pair of Nissan NPT 90s with new 4-valve engines. On row 3, Juan Fangio II in a Toyota Eagle. Next to him, James Weaver, not feeling too well in a Porsche 962C. Row 4 will be Rocky Moran in another Toyota. Next to the Pontiac of John Hotchkiss Sr. Qualified the car, Hotchkiss Jr. will start. On row 5, Parker Johnstone, winner of 5 of 6 races in the Camel Lights class for the Acura Spice. Next to him, Jim Pace in a Buick Kudzu. The rest of the field will be David Tennyson and Ruggero Melgrati, Tom Hessert, Hugh Fuller. You see the rest of the field as pole sitter Tom Kendall brings them down the diving turn onto the front straightaway. 1.54 miles around. We're ready for action. The BMW pace car pulls off. Starter Jim Sidley holds the field with his left hand in the orange glove. We await the green flag, and we have it.
And Tommy Kendall made a fantastic start there. He really messed up those turbocharged cars just absolutely perfectly as he went past the booth here.
Very long right-hander to start this race. The drivers will take an incredible beating today. A lot of G-forces, lapping at less than 45 seconds. Tommy Kendall was 2.8 seconds under the old qualifying lap record. You see the field making its way now through the S's, as David mentioned. The only left-hand.
Someone's smoking there. One of those front cars was smoking there as it went out of sight, but it doesn't seem to be doing it now. So Tommy Kendall comes into West Bend. This bend now is flat out in these cars, and they stay flat to the floor under the bridge.
You are on board with Chip Robinson and the Nissan number 84. Robinson, the new series points leader, following a victory 3 weeks ago in Topeka, Kansas.
And Robinson got around Davy Jones in the Jaguar and is in second spot now.
There is Davy Jones to the right behind Chip Robinson. Meanwhile, that Chevy Intrepid with Tommy Kendall aboard is disappearing.
It's not going to be an easy race for anybody this afternoon. It is extremely hot and humid here. These guys are being asked to do 2 hours. This course, as you can see, is virtually one long corner. It's like a 1.5 mile oval with just one left-hand bend thrown in, which is, that's one on there, that little flick left out of the chicane. You hardly can count that. But from here on, right down to turn 1, it's pretty well flat out. Developing at this point, just as they go down the hill, just right here, these cars are developing nearly 3.5 times the force of gravity.
You see the sparks underneath the number 84 Nissan as the skid plates wear away very low. And down to the inside of Davy Jones, took a look, but oh, Chip Robinson comes right across his bow. Same 2 drivers on the first lap across the start-finish line. You see all of those sparks underneath that Nissan. I wonder if they intended to run it that low.
And you see how bumpy the track is there. Both those cars bouncing down and, of course, bouncing into each other as Chip Robinson got underneath Davy Jones going to turn 1. That was 2 laps ago. Into the chicane now for the 3rd time.
Chip Robinson, for the first time in about a year, he's had the lead in points. He has 88 coming in to his teammate Jeff Brabham's 82. Davy Jones has 77 points. Now smoke from the number 8 Camel Lights car. That's Tom Hessert, a former Camel Lights champion. He's in a car normally occupied by his Essex Racing teammate Charles Morgan, the leader in Camel Lights, second in Camel Lights points behind Parker Johnstone. There is Tom Hessert, car dealer from Cherry Hills, New Jersey, smoking that Buick badly out the back.
Wayne Taylor is also striding through the field. Ooh, that car smoking. Its days are pretty well numbered, I would think. There we see the field coming into turn 1. There's the Acura Spice.
To the left of your screen is a GTP Spice, an older model. The white car is a newer Spice with an Acura engine from Honda's Acura division. It's a V6, and it has totally reset the performance standards in Camel Lights competition this year. There's a look at the rest of the field making its way through. David Tennyson in the Denon Spice Ferrari engine car. Now here is Wayne Taylor, and just ahead of him is the number 98 Toyota.
Rocky Moran, is that right?
Driven by Rocky Moran, that's right. And here comes Davy Jones underneath Chip Robinson to take away second place at turn 1.
Chip Robinson left the door uncharacteristically wide open there as they came down the straight. We didn't see what happened at the beginning. Davy Jones may have sold him a bit of a dummy. Looked as if he was going to go down the outside, but look at the stretching out that Davy has now put the daylight between himself and Chip Robinson. Davy Jones set a tremendously fast qualifying time, but it was only second place. In fact, a second slower than the Intrepid of Tom Kendall. Tom Kendall's qualifying time, I have to tell you, was absolutely outstanding. He did 124 miles an hour, and the old fastest lap here was 114. That's nearly 10 miles an hour in 1 year, and the track hasn't changed one bit.
We'll be talking about that car all day long. Meanwhile, it looks as though Davy Jones is able to pull out easily on Chip Robinson. I'm a little surprised by that.
Well, the Jaguar has been the sort of class of the field this year. There's the Toyota has got around Jeff Brabham. Jeff Brabham, of course, had a pretty busy weekend racing in the Indy 500 yesterday.
Juan Fangio ahead of Jeff Brabham. Brabham finished, I believe, 21st in the Indianapolis 500. A pretty frustrating day for him. He's actually made 3 trips back and forth from Indy to Lime Rock and vice versa. Number 65 is your overall leader, Tom Kendall from La Cañada, California.
Now then, look how steady that car is. We've already seen how the Jaguar and the Nissan bounce around here. That car's very smooth.
Tom Kendall is your leader over Davy Jones and Chip Robinson. It is Chevy, Jaguar, and Nissan up front. Smoking to the right of your screen is Tom Hessert. His day may soon be done, but the number 65 of Tommy Kendall, a Chevrolet-powered Intrepid built by the Miller Racing Team out of Illinois. An all-American car designed by Bob Riley, who was at a hand in a lot of Indianapolis winners, a lot of the great Trans Am and IMSA GTO cars campaigned by Jack Roush. There is another Riley chassis behind the number 98 Toyota of Rocky Moran.
Now, I'm sure Wayne has rocketed through the field until he came to Rocky Moran, and there's no doubt about it that Rocky Moran is now slowing him up. Moran's car's probably just a bit quicker down the straight. Yeah, it looks like it. He's got the turbocharged. Only 2.1 litres, the smallest engine out there. But when they crank the boost into that thing, they give phenomenal horsepower. Similar to the 2-litre engine I raced at BMW many, many years ago. But it just shows how powerful it could be. And he's got him, and now you just watch him streak away.
Wayne Taylor underneath the turbocharged.
And the Jaguar of Bazell has caught up with Rocky Moran now.
So Rocky Moran will come under fire again. He may have a problem. The Gurney cars won 4 races last year. This year they've had a lot of trouble being competitive. They have a new car that is up and rolling, and we expect to see it very shortly. But in the meantime, they're using last year's machine. It's always amazing how quickly championship-level racing machinery can be obsolete a season later.
Well, I mean, if you look at the qualifying time, last year Drake Olson in one of those Toyotas set a qualifying time, as you've already said, over 2 seconds slower than this year. Incredible in 1 year.
Now, Raul Boesel crashed his car in practice last week. He had one of the old Jaguar XJR10s, just absolutely wiped it out against a tire barrier. The Jaguar team sent one of their guys back to their home base in Valparaiso, Indiana on Saturday night. They loaded up their new car, this one right here, that hadn't turned a wheel. You get back up to 65, and your overall leader, Tommy Kendall. To finish my Jaguar story, the crew worked all night to get the car loaded up on the truck, drove it here to Lime Rock. They worked until 2 o'clock late yesterday, this morning, and then we're back out here at 7 o'clock this morning to get that car going. On board now with David Tennyson in the Denon Spice Ferrari in the Camel Lights ranked. On in the no-name straight. Now they'll have a right turn and uphill to the chicane that was added a couple of years ago to keep these cars from leaving the ground entirely.
There's the 98 Toyota of Rocky Moran, followed by the Jaguar number 3 of Raul Boesel. As Bob has already told you, Boesel crashed heavily on Saturday afternoon, didn't get to qualify, and this is the first time that he's ever driven that car. Down no-name straight into the rising turn there. Rocky Moran seems to be holding at bay.
Back on point with Tom Kendall, already lapping traffic. There is your Camel Lights car of Parker Johnstone behind a similar car of Hugh Fuller, I believe, out of Auburn, Alabama. We'll have to check and see whether Johnstone is being led in a Camel Lights race. That might be one of the first times this year that's happened. Whoa, Kendall coming up on the slower cars.
I must say I find it pretty amazing that the Camel Light car of Hessen is allowed to continue smoking like it does. That's going to cause somebody a lot of grief sooner or later.
He is still on the racetrack.
Now you watch the 65 car there of Tom Kendall. You just watch it through here as it goes down the diving turn and through the bumps. Now just take a mental note of how it looks there and how it looks down this main straightaway. And then just compare that to what the Jaguar or the Nissan look like when we see them at other times. They've got the ride control on this car absolutely perfect.
Overall race leader with your Camel Lights leader. Nose to tail, Parker Johnstone moves over, lets Tommy Kendall through.
Well, if he's lapping the Camel Light leader in 11 laps,
54, Hugh Fuller off the racetrack. I wondered whether he was leading Tommy Kendall. I believe he had been lapped by Parker Johnstone in the Camel Lights competition. At the speeds these cars are going on such a short racetrack, we're going to have lapping going on all day long. It's going to be very difficult to keep things straight, but we'll do our best. Tommy Kendall, 6 feet 6 inches tall. He folds himself into this machine, and he just goes like crazy.
Fitness and endurance is going to be a big thing today. And Tommy Kendall, when I spoke to him about it the other day, one of the things he does is he practices yoga, which he maintains is great for physical shape.
I would imagine it would be. Meanwhile, we've got pit action. Let's get down to Jan Bikas.
Tommy Hessert has brought his car in. The motor is shut down. They're going to attempt to change the valve cover gasket on the Buick motor. It's obviously going to drop him way back, but they're going to make an attempt to get him back into the race.
It looks like it could be a pretty protracted repair. In the meantime, there's James Weaver in the number 16 Dyson Racing Porsche. He is about to be overcome by Wayne Taylor in the number 64 Chevy Intrepid. Taylor trying to move up from the back of the pack after having clutch problems in qualifying, as Jan Bikas mentioned at the top of our show. Now, James Weaver in that Porsche is having stomach trouble. He and his car owner, Rob Dyson, both apparently suffering queasy stomachs as a result of something they ate this morning. We'll see how far Weaver can go before he needs to hand over to Rob.
You get a really great, a very vivid demonstration there. Just look at the Porsche as it bounces its way through the bottom bend, and Wayne Taylor's car just glides over this extremely bumpy surface. The Porsche will no doubt have more straight line speed than Wayne Taylor. The Porsche going to the inside, making Wayne go around the outside, which is going to be difficult. These guys are racing for a position, and James Weaver is certainly no laydown when it comes to getting around him. But this is where the Intrepid, the number 64 car, is very, very much. Don't try it, Wayne. You've got a lot of time left yet. You've got an hour and 45 minutes to go. No point rushing your bridges.
Both of these drivers, James Weaver, Wayne Taylor, European veterans, they'll be at Le Mans in a few weeks' time. David and I hope to speak to you from the 24-hour Classic. Wayne Taylor had a new baby boy, Jordan Lee, back on the 10th of the month. He's a happy father. His teammate, number 65, Tommy Kendall, is just a little bit happier right at the moment. He is leading the way in the Toyota Trucks Lime Rock Grand Prix. Stay with us. Jaguar, Davy Jones running in second position. And there's a gap. You saw your overall race leader, Tommy Kendall, duck at the bottom of the screen. He's got about 6 seconds in hand over this man, Davy Jones. Let's get down to the pits and Chris McClure quickly.
Well, Tony Dow, Jaguar manager, looking on very closely to Raul Boesel in particular. His first drive. How's it going with him?
Yeah, it seems to be going okay. He's getting amongst the faster cars now, and so his advancement is slowing down a bit.
Had he had experience in the car Davy's in? I mean, was this a complete surprise?
Well, only after you crashed the first one, yeah.
Is there a big adaptation from the 10 to the 16?
I think there's a fair performance advantage that he has to, find the limits of the car, and that's going to take this race to get to know what the car does.
And that's going to be a tough battle under the kind of conditions we're seeing today. This race is going down at record pace, flying around the racetrack. This car of Davy Jones, his teammate Raul Boesel, and the rest of the field of 19. Make that 18 with Tom Hessert's Camel Lights car in the pits. The battle continues here between the number 16 of James Weaver and Wayne Taylor. This is a battle for 6th place. Taylor coming from the back of the pack. Weaver started his car in the number 6 position. So Taylor has already made up 11 spots on the racetrack. Rob Dyson is the car owner in this car, but James Weaver, we are informed, is the driver at this point.
This is where Wayne Taylor's a lot quicker up through that bit. He's quicker onto it through the S's. He's quicker on, he's later on the brakes into the rising turn. And he's very quick from here through the next 2 right-hand corners. But unfortunately, they lead to the long straight where the Porsche, with just a little bit more horsepower, has got the legs of the Intrepid. And unfortunately for him, the only real overtaking spot on this circuit is just about here as we go into turn 1.
Rob Dyson has long been one of the stalwart Porsche campaigners in IMSA Camel GT Racing. They have a new car coming online for this man, James Weaver. They hope to have it for the New Orleans race 2 up the road. And we'll be seeing it at Watkins Glen in the month of July. Excuse me, later in June.
Just look how much quicker that Intrepid is through those S's. Gets up alongside him here now. Is Weaver going to block him out? Ooh, a bit of a dodgy place that. Coming up on a lapped car there. Now then, the Intrepid, if it's got a weak spot, is they've had some minor problems with overheating. And of course, him having to follow that Porsche so close will obviously exacerbate that if it is a problem. And if they're going to have a heating problem, today could be a day for it, because it is extremely warm here at Lime Rock.
Now that that battle has settled down a little bit, we'll check in with Tom Kendall back on the point.
Tom Kendall is about to lap Raul Bassell in the Jaguar and the number 98 car of Rocky Moran.
Those are 8th and 9th. Moran is 8th. Raul Bassell is 9th. And here comes Tommy Kendall. I can't get over this. He is rocketing around this racetrack.
Now then, Raul Bassell won't be looking for him either. I can't imagine that Raul Bassell would even imagine for a moment.
Oh, he puts a wheel off.
Tommy Kendall would be there yet.
When you have that much power, that much ability right underneath your foot, I would imagine it emboldens you a little bit. You're going to try to pass anywhere you can if you think you're that much quicker than the guy ahead of you.
Tommy Kendall seems to be amazingly mature for a guy of his age, and I don't think he's going to make a mistake, but he is still awfully young.
Tommy Kendall already proven himself as a champion, but still looking for that first victory in the GTP cars. The Intrepid has been impressive all weekend, much quicker than the competition. We asked Tommy Kendall where it's coming from.
Well, the car is really good under braking, and it just produces a tremendous amount of downforce, and so all the mid-corner speeds are quite a bit higher, I think. And this track, even though there's a pretty good straightaway, there's a long corner that leads onto it. So we're really not giving much away straightaway speed-wise either, because we can carry so much speed onto it.
That was Rocky Moran's undoing too. When Tom Kendall slipped by on the inside, it put Rocky Moran on.
Now let's get down to Chris McClure.
Well, quite obviously, Tom Kendall has adapted quickly. Jim Miller, he only had about an hour testing before coming to this track. A remarkable adaptation to the car.
Well, I think Tommy has always proven to be a flexible driver, and when we tested last week, he did very well, and he was right on the pace when we arrived here.
Was there any additional incentive, given that he had pole at West Palm and lost the lead almost immediately, to the man that started today on his flank, Davy Jones?
Well, let's just say Tommy paid a great deal of attention to his experience, and I think he handled it pretty well.
The Jaguars now running nose to tail on the racetrack, although Raul Bassell about to be lapped by his teammate. We've got action on the front straightaway. Car number 4, I beg your pardon, that is Brian Bonner out of Boston, Massachusetts, racing on his home track here at Lime Rock. He has got a fire, a lot of smoke out of the car.
And Brian Bonner out of the car as well.
Good move there. That car burning pretty furiously at the rear, but they've got fire extinguishers on it now. That is one of Tom Milner's Chevrolet Spices, one of the older Spice cars with a normally aspirated Chevrolet engine, very much like the one in the Intrepids. But the Intrepids have taken a lot more engineering support from the Chevrolet Motor Division. They have very trick engine management systems called the Gen 3, and they are out there flying. Now you're on board with overall Camel GT points leader Chip Robinson. Little bit of breakup on this hazy day that makes it hard to bounce signals off our helicopter overhead. That is David Tennyson's Denon Spice Ferrari being passed by one of the Toyotas leading up to the chicane.
Now from here on, these GTP cars develop such incredible downforce. I see, we've gone from one car to another. That's pretty quick. Oh, now we've gone back to the other car. This is exciting, folks. Onto the main straight, and you can see how...
I'm sure we will see it before too long, David. This is James Weaver in the pits. That's got to be an early stop for the Porsche. But there is no driver change, so I assume James is still feeling good in the car.
Maybe his tires started to go off, or they could have used a softer compound and they wanted to, or something like that. This is an early stop, very early.
He was in 7th position when he stopped. Tommy Kendall and the number 65 Chevrolet-powered Intrepid from Miller Motorsports in Illinois has absolutely grabbed this race by the throat from the get-go. He has led every lap thus far.
He has. Davy Jones is not very far behind, just a few seconds. And of course, there's a long way to go yet. They've both got to make at least one stop. It's hot, but I would hazard a guess that the Intrepid is probably being kinder to his tires here than the Jaguar.
3.5 seconds the gap from this car, Tommy Kendall, back to Davy Jones in the second place Jaguar. Behind Jones, it is Chip Robinson in the Nissan, Juan Fangio in a Toyota, Jeff Brabham in a Nissan, then Wayne Taylor in the second Chevy Intrepid, who has made his way up from the back of the pack. Raul Boesel in the Jaguar runs 7th, followed by Rocky Moran in another Toyota, John Hotchkiss Jr. in a normally aspirated Pontiac Spice car, and finally James Weaver in a Porsche. There is the number 99 car of Juan Fangio with Jeff Brabham just behind, the 3-time defending Camel GT champion. Juan Fangio, a new father this weekend. His girlfriend Viviana gave birth to young Juan, don't call me Juan Fangio, during qualifying on Saturday.
How terribly inconsiderate.
He will be known as Juan Fangio, not Juan Manuel Fangio. Juan's uncle, of course, is the great 5-time former world driving champion.
The two products of Japan there, the V6 engine Nissan of Jeff Brabham, 83, the 99 Toyota, which, as I said earlier, is the smallest engine in the race. 2.1 litre, 4-cylinder, turbocharged, but they chuck an awful lot of boost through it and give staggering horsepower, and has put up a very good account for itself last year particularly, but this year the 99 and the 98 car just haven't been going quite as well. They took a sabbatical, they missed a couple of races, but they're back here today and obviously going very well against their old nemesis, the Nissan. But of course a new one has arisen now, and that is the Intrepid Chevrolet. Is so fast around here at Lime Rock.
Jeff Brabham in the number 83 red, white and blue Nissan, closing up a little bit on Fangio with the help of that Pontiac Spice up ahead of John Hotchkiss Jr.
And there's the 48 car, there's the Acura. More Japanese engineering. That of course is a Honda engine, a V6 also, 4-valve in a Spice chassis, and these guys are determined to go into GTP racing with a bigger engine yet.
We saw Brian Bonner catch fire near the pit lane earlier. Now Chris McClure has more.
Well, Brian Bonner did just get back to the pit and consulted with Tom Milner, the owner. Unfixable, I guess.
Yeah, we figure it's an oil leak from either an oil cooler or a valve cover gasket. We had a problem with the valve cover gasket earlier this weekend, and it's really too bad because Applebee's car was running great, and I was just taking it easy. We had moved up from the back of the pack, and we were running a good pace, and you know, I didn't know the thing was burning because I saw the corner workers holding the fire bottles over their head, and I figured it was somebody else. I'm looking at my mirrors to see a burning car, and I realized it was mine, so it's too bad. Bad way to end the day.
Well, at least he didn't have far to walk to get back to the Tom Milner Racing pits. Number 98, Rocky Moran, all 6'1", 210 pounds of him. Rocky is a big guy.
I raced against Rocky nearly 20 years ago now in Formula 5000. He certainly hung in there extremely well.
This year was the first in many that Rocky Moran was not at Indianapolis. He was driven at the Speedway for many years, but he is one of Dan Gurney's favorite drivers. He will be with the Toyota Eagle program through its new iteration when that new car comes online very soon. And it is a very different car. Wait till you see it.
And of course it's going to need to be very effective if today's demonstration by the Intrepid Chevrolet is anything to go by. And of course the Jaguar. The Jaguar is going extremely strong.
There's the 84 Nissan. Chip Robinson running third on the racetrack.
Chip Robinson, of course, leading this year's point standing with 88 points to his teammate Jeff Brabham, 82. Jeff Brabham, of course, having won the championship for the last 3 years. There you see a good in-car shot as we go on the no-name straight. You can see how unstraight it is. Into that climbing right-hander. Now, they used to just blast straight over the top there until John Morton had a huge flip. There's Rocky Moran just in front of him, pulling away a little bit as they come out of that corner. This is those two very fast right-handers. West Bend there, right to the edge of the road, under the bridge, down this hill. It's a lot steeper than it looks from the onboard camera. Out onto the straight, you can see how the wheel's twitching his hand, and that's just going straight. That's just bumps making it do that. Up to about 155, 160 miles an hour, hard on the brakes into turn one. As you can see, it's a double apex.
There is Chip Robinson, who we spoke to before the race. IMSA's been racing here at Lime Rock since 1972. The GTP cars have undergone a massive evolution since then. We asked him whether the cars are too good for the track.
They've outrun this race track for a number of years now, and you know, it's a short narrow, tiny place and rough, and our cars just tend to bounce all over the racetrack, and it's a really difficult place for us. You know, it's in a way it's a shame because this is such a great area of the country to come to. I mean, I love the area, and every time we come, you know, the facilities here look better. You know, they're building new buildings all the time, and it really looks nice. But the track itself is just a little behind the times, I think, as for our cars.
Well, Chip Robinson should know he has driven all of the state-of-the-art cars in Camel GT racing, but for perhaps the Toyota just ahead of him right now. Tom Kendall is your leader over Davy Jones, and we'll be right back to Lime Rock.
Very lucky he didn't get his head knocked off, because if you saw it, the wheel off that other crash bounced around, hit his front wheel, and could so easily have hit him on the head. But that's not going to happen by the look of things to Tom Kendall. There's 64. That's Wayne Taylor in the second of the Intrepid Chevrolets. Unfortunately had to start at the back. Now latched onto the tail of the lead of the race, his teammate Tommy Kendall. He's a lap down on Tommy Kendall, unbelievable as it is, but look, he's in fourth spot and a lap down on the leader. These cars are going to be tough. Watkins Glen may not suit them quite so well. It's a very long straight, which the Jaguar and the Nissan will like. But boy, they're going to go through the S's onto the straight there so quickly. And as Tommy said in that interview earlier on, its entry speed onto the straight is a big part of it. Nasty little traffic down there.
Yeah, got between one of the Milner cars. I believe that's Jeff Perner, driving instructor at Road Atlanta in the blue car. Whoops, John Hotchkiss off the racetrack. This is in Big Bend, I think.
That's John Hotchkiss Jr., who raced with my son Greg a few times in Formula 3 in England and did a little bit of Barber Saab here. And they saw quite a bit of each other. John Hotchkiss, of course, comes from California.
Did well to wait his turn, as you see young John there. His father is his co-driver in this car. We may see John Hotchkiss Sr. a little later on. We have 3 cars on the lead lap. Tommy Kendall, Davy Jones in the Jaguar, Chip Robinson in the Nissan. This car of Hotchkiss was running in 9th place at the time, probably lost the position on the racetrack. There are the matched Chevy Intrepids. 64 car, second in line there. 1 lap down is Wayne Taylor.
They've now got about a half a lap, near enough, as they go through that first of the S's. Davy Jones just went past our commentary point. That's about a third of a lap advantage. Tommy Kendall seems to be good in traffic. Davy Jones is braver than Dick Tracy, and he's good in traffic. Tommy Kendall just gives that terribly nice guy demeanor, but the guy in traffic is something else. And he's got the car to do it with. Terrific response from this big Chevrolet 6-liter, 366 cubic inch. Tremendous torque, very good horsepower, instant response, and all the grip in the world to make it work. And boy, he is making it work. This is the corner, Big Bend, where these 2 cars are absolutely mind-blowingly quick to everybody else.
64 Wayne Taylor has a tremendous sports car reputation in Europe, but he's evenly matched with Tommy Kendall, who started racing in IMSA racing in 1964. There you see Wayne. He's bought himself a house down in Altamont Springs, Florida, where he and his wife and his 2 children, including new Jordan Lee, born just about 10 days ago.
See how good they are through that chicane too. They're none of that bouncing around at the other people. These cars use Penske shocks. Roger Penske, of course, so well known to Indy viewers. Yesterday won again, and they have developed a shock absorber system that a lot of people use on their race cars, and they certainly seem to be doing the trick here. The car is noticeably better on damping than any other car out there.
You saw James Weaver. There he is, hitting Rob Dyson's car. Looks as though James will get out. Yep, that's him. Rob Dyson, the car owner, will get in.
Well, when you're not doing very well, I mean, quite frankly, they're running sort of towards the back of the pack in 10th spot. And if you're not feeling very well, and there's obviously no real point to be gained in leaving James out there, although he's considerably quicker than Rob Dyson, if he's not feeling very well, there's no point in him just staying there all afternoon.
Well, they'll have a new car online before too long, and maybe it will take technology another step further. Oh, Davy Jones there.
Being carved up by the...
Hugh Fuller, Mike Allison sharing that Buick-powered Spice. Hugh Fuller out of Auburn, Alabama started it. Whoop, John Hotchkiss Jr. off again.
I suspect that either John Hotchkiss is getting tired, but that's exactly the same spot, almost to the inch, or his tires are going away.
He will get back on the racetrack. He has a little bit of a gap, but not much of one. Here's another look.
Oh, seems like he may have got tagged.
He tried to turn in. The number 9 of Jim Pace was underneath him. It really left him nowhere to go. Rode him right to the outside of the track.
Now Jim Pace in the number 9 car is running in 15th, and that's the sort of thing that's inclined to get up your nose, because he was being lapped by Hotchkiss in the Camel Light car, and he tried to be clever and got inside John Hotchkiss and pushed Hotchkiss off the road again. And it is, to say the least, extremely irritating.
The gap more than 15 seconds from the first place car of Tom Kendall to this man, Davy Jones. Now, Jaguar has had a great year. They've won 3 of the first 6 races this season. We asked Davy Jones before the race where he expected the main competition from.
Well, I think this weekend, you know, the interprets are running very good of Wayne Taylor and Tom Kendall. This track is the type of track that can suit their car really well. It's a much lighter car. It's normally aspirated. They can tend to run a little bit softer on tires, so you know they're going to be real tough to beat. I think the Nissans are always competitive, and same with the Toyotas. It's going to be, but on the other hand, it's a long race, 2 hours. It's physically demanding around here, so it's going to be a tough race.
Davy Jones just gave you all the reasons why Tommy Kendall could find himself in trouble, and there he is, perched sideways on the curb. The car has not moved. I'm wondering if he killed it.
I would say that it is killed. He's making frantic hand signals. We can just see him through the windscreen there.
That's in Big Bend, just coming out of turn 1, leading into the S's. And he has not moved. You saw his hands working on the dashboard. Look out, buddy. We want to be able to see, too. I think he's having trouble getting it started, and
he wants a tow. He's not getting much help. He either wants a tow or he wants a push. No one wants to walk across the road to give him. Oh, there they are.
If I were right there, I think I'd want him to pull me off. I mean, he's got his front wheels on the racetrack. Cars coming through, being thrown in his direction by the turn.
Well, he's lost at least a lap while he's been stuck there. He wants these guys to push him off and try and push start of that thing.
My goodness. Give a lot of credit to the bravery of the SCCA corner workers here at Lime Rock.
They don't want to push him out there much, no.
Well, there's your new leader, Davy Jones, from whom we just heard. From the jaws of imminent defeat comes sudden victory. With the race not yet half done, Davy Jones has taken over first place. Stay with us. Chip Robinson of the number 84 Nissan looking to widen his overall points lead in the IMSA Camel GT Series this year. Bob Barsha, David Hobbs, Chris McClure, and Jan Beekes with you on a bright, sunny, and very hot day today. There you see Chip Robinson, the 1987 Camel GT champion. The last champion before Jeff Brabham took over for Nissan and dominated the last 3 seasons. What a break it would be for him. 20 points for the victory. His teammate Brabham, second in points by 6, runs 3rd on the racetrack, so Chip would be able to open up his championship lead with a victory here today. You're on board with Robinson.
It would be a big break for Chip Robinson. They certainly have not been the fastest combination this weekend, but they've been the surest. He's kept out of the trouble and driven a good, sound, solid race, and is now, looks like, he's going to reap the benefit of it.
Robinson passing a slower car in West Bend. That's where Wayne Taylor and Parker Johnstone went off. Now down the diving turn onto the front straightaway. See if he reaches down and take a gear. No, he took that corner in top gear, reaching over 155 miles an hour as he flashes across the start-finish line, under the walkover bridge, into turn 1. Robinson is not flying to races like most of these drivers do. He is driving. He has since the very first race of the season in Daytona Beach, Florida. He has a 38-foot motor coach. He tows a little 4-wheel drive Nissan behind it, and he is driving to all the races this year. He's videotaping his adventures along the way. And he has had a couple, not all of them great. Somebody broke into his little 4-wheeler and stole his CD player a while back, but he says on balance it's been one of the greatest experiences of his life.
That in front of him is the number 3 Jaguar of Raul Bassel. That at the moment is running in 6th place, but of course it's 2 laps down on the leader, which is Chip Robinson right behind him. So Chip has no particular urge to get by him, except that he would like to get Raul Bassel between him and Juan Fangio in the Toyota.
Robinson's last lap, 112 miles an hour. That's about 5 or 6 miles an hour off what we had at the beginning of this race. and he seems to be opening up nevertheless.
I think the track has become slippery. There's a lot of rolled up rubber and grit and pebbles around the place. It's got hot. The tires are probably starting to go off just a little bit. And I'm sure the drivers are starting to go off just a little bit. So you can see every reason why the pace should come down. This is the time when you've really got to concentrate very hard as a driver. As the heat and the tiredness start to get at you, you have to be very careful not to let it get right to you. I think he's got a bit of a brake problem too, because I noticed his brake lights come on there just as he came onto the main straight. Which kind of showed me that maybe he's doing a bit of left foot braking to pump them up. It could be that he's getting a lot more travel on his brake pedal than he wants. He's having to keep them pumped up with his left foot.
Down No Name straight, the back straight, which is anything but here at Lime Rock Park. No doubt he is getting information about the second place Toyota of Juan Fangio from his Nissan Performance Technology teammates, led by Don Devendorf and Kaz Kastner. That team had been responsible for pulling together Nissan's effort for the 24 Hours of Le Mans coming up on the 22nd and 23rd of June. But if you follow motorsports, you know that Nissan will not be allowed to run that race this year because they're not a part of the regular World Championship. And the team, to a man, is very disappointed they won't be going over to LaSalle this year. You had a quick look there at one of the Toyotas.
I think maybe those lights we see are actually his driving lights. It's just that the front ones aren't working, because when he puts his brake lights on, they are much brighter.
There's Juan Fangio, who seems to be closing up just a little bit now. His brake lights flash, no doubt about that.
The old familiar turbo flame coming out of the exhaust pipe, sitting high on the body of the Toyota, the number 99 car. As you said earlier, they've got a new car coming along. It should appear in a couple of races' time.
A year ago, this car and its sister car, the 98, driven by Fangio and Drake Olson, who is now retired from Camel GT competition, swept the front row here at Lime Rock. This year, it's just not quite good enough in the face of the new technology. A look back up the racetrack to the headlights of three-time Camel GT champion Jeff Brabham, who has covered 6,300 miles in the last 4 days, going back and forth to Indianapolis from here at Lime Rock. We asked Jeff before the race to compare the mammoth difference between Indy and Lime Rock, Connecticut.
As you say, it is a mammoth difference. You know, Indianapolis is a very smooth racetrack. You know, you're running, you know, around 220, 225 down the straightaways, and you don't lift to go into the corners. Now you get to Lime Rock here, you come probably to the roughest racetrack we ever go to. You know, all of a sudden I'm racing a car with a roof over its head, and yeah, I'm suffering a little bit of culture shock here. It seems, but I think in some ways it's a help, because the two situations are so much different that it's you know, you definitely know where you are. You're not going to get confused at any stage. You know?
After nearly 2 hours in temperatures of over 80 degrees ambient, you can imagine what it's like inside the car. It's probably about 120 or so in these enclosed cockpits.
And people don't realize, you know, just how physical driving a car like this is. You're constantly pumping the brake and the accelerator, expending a lot of energy with the right foot on the brake pedal, steering the car all the time. You've seen on those onboard cameras just how much wheel movement they put into it all the time, and there is no let-up. And shifting gear, of course, probably 15 or 20 times a lap here, depending on the engine configuration, gear ratios, and so on, but at least 15. I mean, it is hard work. Plus, you have that tremendous G-force and all that bumping around.
The 99 in white of Juan Manuel Fangio in that Toyota is definitely closing up on race leader Chip Robinson. There's the gap. No cars between them, barely more than a second on the racetrack.
Well, Robinson, of course, has the undoubted disadvantage that he's trapped behind Raul Bussell. Raul Bussell has driven a good race this afternoon. He's had to come from the back of the grid like Wayne Taylor. And now, of course, he's in a car that he's never, ever driven before. And as Tony Dow says, it'll take a race to get used to the hang of the car. He wants to keep his pressure up because he doesn't particularly want to let Chip Robinson win this race, because Chip's leading the championship. He'd rather see this car, the 99 car of Fangio, win it, quite frankly.
Points are everything in Camel GT racing. Your leader is Robinson over this man, Juan Fangio. Jeff Brabham runs third. 1 lap down, Wayne Taylor, Tom Kendall, Raul Boesel. 4 laps down at this point, Davy Jones, after that long unscheduled pit stop after he collided with another car, followed by Jeff Ferner, Rocky Moran, and Ken Knott, the leader in the Camel Lights class.
And now they're all catching up with the number 10 car again. That should be good fun.
Less than 3/4 of a second separates Juan Manuel Fangio from your race leader, Chip Robinson. There they are on the racetrack. The red, white, and blue 84 of Robinson. There is Fangio looking for that first victory for Toyota in 1991. It'd be great to get it here in their namesake event. The 84 Nissan of Chip Robinson leading the way. There is the 99 Toyota of Juan Manuel Fangio II. Celebrated the birth of his first son this weekend on Saturday during qualifying for this race. He would like nothing better than to welcome his new son into the world with a victory by Daddy here at Lime Rock.
Well, he was catching up with the Brabham of Chip Robinson and the Nissan of Chip Robinson, but Chip seems to have managed to pull out of it. Chip and Raul Basel seem to put some daylight between themselves and Juan Manuel Fangio III. And I don't think they're going to have time to catch it up again because there's only about 2 laps to go, probably. Hard to tell exactly.
This is a timed race. When the leader crosses the line, if there is still time to go, the field will make another lap. So we'll try to bring you the last lap as soon as we know that it is in fact happening. But it's a little bit approximate when we're not running a standard and prescribed number of laps. Once more through West Bend, where the biggest accident of the day took place. Wayne Taylor and Parker Johnstone getting together, and Johnstone apparently destroying the dominant car in the Camel Lights class. Chip Robinson now looks underneath Raul Basel, going into one. Oh, and they did touch.
Got it.
Bumps Basel off the racetrack. Well off the racetrack.
Raul Basel got it all gathered up there. Boy, he'll be miffed.
That's his second trip off at both ends of the track. He went off at the diving turn at the other end of the racetrack when he got together with a Camel Lights car earlier in the race. Here's another look. Boom, right there. Chip Robinson got underneath Raul Basel's right rear wheel, and at that point there was very little Basel could do.
Boy, I mean, he just pretty well smacked him from behind. He wasn't messing about. He didn't just get down alongside him. He just nerfed him from the back.
Well, let's see if Chip Robinson needed to be in such a hurry. No apparent damage to the Nissan. Juan Manuel Fangio has dropped back significantly now, though. Oh, there he comes out from behind a slower car at the back of your picture. It's not over yet. Fangio has clear track between he and the race leader. There is your leader in Camera Lights. Ken Knott of Kennesaw, Georgia, has taken over for David Tennyson, and together they have led this class since Parker Johnstone went off on lap number 90, roughly. We're now working lap number 131, and the seconds are slowly ticking away. Back on the leader, Chip Robinson from Old Wick, New Jersey.
Now, and here's an interesting thing. 98 is a car that's being lapped. And that, of course, could hold him up very, very badly to allow.
If I'm on the Toyota team, I'm telling Rocky Moran to drive the widest Toyota in history, but he's not able to hold Chip Robinson back.
Well, I think that was a terrible tactical error. He just gave him all the room in the world.
Might not have been communicated to him that this is the race leader and that the second place car is his own teammate. We're now given notice that this is the final lap of the race. The checkered flag is in the hands of IMSA flagman Jim Sidley, and it will be waved over this man, Chip Robinson, unless Juan Manuel Fangio II can do something with 2 turns remaining through the West Bend on top of the hill.
Well, things are certainly going to work out well for Chip Robinson here on the overall points. He's going to get his 20 for his win. A car that's not in contention, the points is going to come second, and everybody that matters is going to be way down on him.
The checkered flag waves over Chip Robinson, taking the 3rd victory for Nissan this year. That ties them with Jaguar for most victories. Second place unofficially is the Toyota of Juan Fangio II, followed by the Nissan of Jeff Brabham. And you're right, David. The people that mattered are not able to move up. Brabham second in points, but he will gain no ground because Chip Robinson will take the full 20.
It'll be good for Wayne Taylor and Tommy Kendall in 4th and 5th. It'll pick them up from near the bottom of the charts. Raul Basel won't come out too well, but he won't do too badly either.
There is our lights leader, Ken Knott, taking a victory. His first, I believe, in Camel GT competition. Teaming with David Tennyson and the Denon Spice Ferrari. Across the line he comes, and they will make their way to victory lane as well as surprise winners of the Camel Lights class in today's race.
Chip Robinson has just climbed out of the car, and frankly, you look fresher than I thought you might, although I know you're tired.
Well, I am tired. Those last few laps were pretty hard, and I knew Juan was coming on, and I was pushing pretty hard and trying to get by the Jaguar, and it was a lot to, keep me busy. And then I had a throttle problem. My return springs broke about 5-6 laps from the end, and its throttle was sticking wide open a few times, so that made it extra interesting.
Kind of a trouble avoidance day. A lot of surprises out there.
Well, there are. This is such a difficult track. It's small, it's tight, and it's usually very slippery. It gets hot, and it's easy to get off the track, and things just went my way today.
Chip Robinson, he won the Camel GT, and Jan Vika standing by with the lights winner.
Ken Nutt and David Tennyson, great race. Boy, it looks hot out there, Ken.
It's like an oven out there, Jan.
David, you guys just got to be great. You brought Ken in, and you thought you might need some help. You said you didn't, but you guys pulled it off.
Yeah, we sure did. That was our strategy. That if I got really tired, we'd put Ken in the car, and he'd be fresh, and maybe Parker or any of the other guys would be getting tired. But it worked out great.
Sure did.
All right, Ken. Thanks a lot.
Chip Robinson comes through with what appeared to be an outgunned Nissan in the face of the Chevy Intrepids. He wins over Juan Fangio with an inspired drive for Toyota on the day after the birth of his first son. Congratulations to all of our finishers. We'll give you our final results, and we thank you for being with us. For David Hobbs and Chris McClure, as well as Jan Bikas, I'm Bob Barsha. So long from the first day of summer at Lime Rock, Connecticut.